Good day to everybody out there. How are you today? How's your weekend? How's your week been? So, as the topic says, I want to come on here and speak about how I was able to get rid of my high blood pressure and several other ailments through veganism, and how it was inspired by Dr. Sebi and Beyonce, because Beyonce came out, I believe, a year ago and was, you know, uh, speaking about the vegan diet, or just, encouraging it. So I went vegan actually back in 2017, I knocked out beef, chicken, and pork. Prior to that, I was getting chest pains and it would wake me up out of my sleep, and I wouldn't be able to take these deep breaths. It felt like if I took a deep breath, my heart was going to pop out of my chest. So this happened a few different times, and I never knew what it was. And I'm not the type to go to the doctor and see what every little thing is, but this wasn't a little thing, it was actually big. So I'm going to say that happened maybe 4 or 5 times before I decided to make a change. Now, prior to that, when I was about 12, 13, and moving on, I was getting these nosebleeds, and these nosebleeds would come periodically. And I would wake up out of my sleep sometime, and my pillow would have blood on it, and I'd be doing things throughout the day, and my nose would just start to bleed out of nowhere. And I never really knew what it was. And I don't think the doctors really knew what it was at the time. So my parents or my family used to always say it's the dry heat, which now doesn't make any sense to me. But back then, you listen to what your family say, and you just stick a piece of toilet paper up your nose, or you hold your head back and you try to get rid of it that way. And this happened for years. Actually, it happened up until I stopped actually eating the foods that I was eating. So the nosebleeds was happening. I was getting the chest pains. The chest pains didn't happen until later on in life. And what also happened later on in life is I'd had this major tingly feeling in my big toe. And if someone was to step on my toe, it would hurt. It would be this crazy pain, and I didn't know what it was. So let's say 2016, I got out of my 9 to 5 job. So that opened up a lot of time for me. Working a 9 to 5, you're going back and forth to work Monday through Friday. You get off work, you're not really trying to study. You're not really trying to look up any videos on YouTube. You're actually coming home. It's a routine. You get off work. I got off work and I had my routine. I wasn't looking up anything that was health related. So 2016, I got out of my 9 to 5 job and started to do what I was doing, which is real estate and finance. I was in finance at the time, but now I had transitioned into real estate and finance. I had already had a property, and at this time, I was looking for a few more properties outside of the jurisdiction I was living in. So when my time opened up, I started to watch other people on YouTube in regards to economics and real estate. And the brother that I was watching, he was speaking about health and Dr. Sebi and several other things. And I was just like, who's this guy, Dr. Sebi? And then in one of his videos, he brought this other brother on, and this brother was talking about health and land and all types of other things. And I started to watch him. And as I got into watching these guys and hearing their stories about health, I started to follow them a lot more and implement some of the things that they was talking about. So May of 2017, I had knocked out beef, chicken, and let's say before that, a week before that, I stopped eating meat. And I went a whole week without eating meat. I think it was May 12th of 2017. So I went a whole week without eating meat. The following week, I went to In-N-Out Burger and got a burger. And my mom had just had this, she just went to the hospital. I don't know what it was. She had a stomach problem, and I think she had some type of surgery, or she had an issue. And, I didn't know what it was. She didn't know what it was. So the following week after I had stopped the beef, chicken, or the meat, I ate that burger from In-N-Out Burger and I got my stomach just went into a major crunch and it just was balled up. And I really didn't know what it was. And this was, so Sunday, I think I had that burger. Saturday or Sunday, I had that burger. I think Monday, my stomach was in a bind and I didn't know what it was. So I reached out to my mom. I was just like, Mom, what was it that they said was wrong with your stomach? And I can't remember what she said, but the first thing I got off into was, man, this is hereditary. This is something my mom is having an issue, and now it's my issue. Now I'm having an issue with my stomach. So I didn't know what it was. So my stomach was in a bind for maybe 2 days. I think Monday, Tuesday, and then that Wednesday it started to ease up. Got some tea. And I think really quickly I correlated it to, you know what? It's that burger I had. And from then on, I had stopped eating beef, chicken, and pork, and I believe turkey too. So that was May of 2017. November of 2017, the day after Black Friday, Thanksgiving was my last time having any meat and any dairy products of 2017. So Black Friday, I said, you know what? I'm still getting colds because I was getting a cold. I think I had a cold. I had did a renovation in New Orleans. I'm in real estate. So I was down in New Orleans for 3 weeks. I did a renovation down there. They had all this amazing food and I really couldn't eat it. So I was on a seafood tip. And then I went to upstate. I got up in New York, went up there and I stuck to what I was doing. I would hit Chipotle, like my favorite thing at the time, because they had the healthy bowls and all stuff. And I would stay away from the meat and all that and just put my, the regular vegetables in there. And I thought that was okay. And then, I think I got sick again, maybe around like September, October. I got like a cold or something. And, I was still listening to gentlemen and hearing what they were saying and how the cold isn't so common, blah, blah, blah. So November, I said, you know what? I'm going to try something new because this guy was also speaking about fasting. And I realized that was difficult, but I gave it a shot. So the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, I did a 1-day water fast. Not a problem. It was kind of simple. It was easy. If I could remember, wasn't that hard. The following week, I did a 3 to 4 day, 3.5 day water fast. That was tough. And I could remember the first day wasn't a problem, but the second day and the third day, it was very, very difficult. I could barely get out of bed. I was having I had this headache. I was so tired, lethargic, and it was kind of like the worst feeling that I was voluntarily putting myself through. And I couldn't believe how bad I felt. I could barely get out of bed to go to the bathroom, and the bathroom was literally right in my room. I had a bathroom in my room, not in the room, but a partition, a door, and all that stuff. And it was a tough time, and it was 2 floors in that apartment, so I wouldn't go downstairs for nothing. If I had to go downstairs for something, I would have my water upstairs, and I went downstairs to get my water when I had to, but I couldn't go downstairs. I was holding on to the rail just to get downstairs and get upstairs. I was holding on to the rail. It was just how tired and like lethargic my body was. It was amazing to see how my body was reacting. So I think like that 3.5 day, one of my homeboys hit me up. It's just like, yo, what's going on? La, la, la. It's like, I'm good. But I had started to feel better around that time. I started to feel like I was getting a little bit more energy back. So I broke the fast. I went to Whole Foods and I got one of those smoothies, mango, and I can't remember exactly what I know. Mango was the base. So I got one of those big 32-ounce cups of mango mixed with mango, banana, and something else. It's really good. That was that fast. This was the first week of December, I believe. Fast forward, I was in California. I was in Los Angeles. Fast forward 2 weeks later, I'm over on the East Coast visiting family. And I said, I'm going to do a 1-week water fast. And I started that fast the day I got to the East Coast to visit my family, December 17th. And I broke the fast on Christmas. Now, mind you, this fast was It wasn't that difficult. I will say that. The 7 day fast wasn't that difficult. It's usually that first few days. It's usually that first few days. Once that first few days is over with, that 2 or 3 day, once you get past that 2 or 3 day hump, it becomes, but that first couple days, I believe, is physically you're going through some things. And then the rest of the time, it's more mental. So after that first few days, I was able to get over that hump, and then it became more of a mental thing. So that 7 days, I can remember it wasn't that bad. Of course, I was always thinking about food and wanted to eat, and my family members, they was cooking and fried chicken and all this other stuff. So I got over that, and then Christmas, I broke the fast. I went and got all this stuff. You go to the store a day or two before you break the fast because you're so excited to break the fast. So I think I went the day before. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3. I think it was the 20. So the 24th, I broke the fast. Yeah, the 24th, I broke the fast. Went and got all my good stuff, my coconut waters and several other things. And at the time, I really didn't do much research into how to break a fast. So I did go get all healthy stuff, of course. Lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, coconut waters, red peppers, orange peppers, yellow pepper, all of that good stuff. But I believe I was frying that stuff, tasty stuff. And, I thought it was healthy. So, it was healthy, but that's not how you want to break a fast. I learned that. So that was a 7 day water fast. That was December, right before Christmas. I went back to LA after Christmas, and that was I think I went back to LA in January. Went back to LA in January, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna do a 2 week water fast when I go back to Delaware, because at this time I was going back to the East Coast every month, visiting family. And I said I'm gonna do another one when I come back, or when I go back. So when I got back, January 30th, I started the 2 week water fast. I did a 2 week water fast, and that was amazing. That was incredible. I was at my grandmother's house, and it drove her crazy to see me not eating. And I lost all this weight, and I kept a journal every day just to kind of, um, you know, jot down everything that I was going through, what I was feeling, my bowel movements, some of my emotional feelings. And that was, like I said, it was interesting. And I was still, I spent a lot of time at my grandmother's house. I was on her couch. And I remember after day 6, because that first 6 days during that fast, first 4 or 5 days, they were tough. And I didn't have a bowel movement. I don't believe that first, I think maybe like the first day or two, like that, like the second day you have a bowel movement, and that, it was what it was. And then, like, after that, I know I would have had like 2 or 3 bowel movements the whole time. But the mornings that I would have the bowel movement, I would get this major feeling in my stomach where it felt like something was twisting and turning. And I don't know, it just felt like something was churning, and it was just squeezing on the inside of my stomach. And every morning that would come, I had a bowel movement. And not to get too vivid, but it was this black, gooey, mucusy waste. And that happened about 3 times. And every morning, after that first morning, the second morning, I didn't realize it, but I said, wow, I had that feeling the first time. And then I knew it the third time that that's what it was. And every time it would be this like mess. It would be like this liquidy, black, stinking. It was crazy. And, throughout the whole time of this fast, I was looking at research on how to break the fast, and, some of other people's confessions and how they felt about fasting and that, longer term. So this was a 14-day fast. And after that fast, I broke the fast I went to a juice bar and got 2 16-ounce juices. And that's how I broke the fast. Now, I had a trip scheduled to go back to LA that week. And I still didn't break the fast the right way long term. I didn't. Because I ended up buying some pistachios, and they're so addicting, especially the ones without the shell. I went and bought some pistachios and I was chowing down on those. And I believe the first couple days I did okay. I was having nice fresh salads, and they were amazing. And I thought I was doing the right thing. So I had those salads. Oh, what else I do? I remember having this sugar crash. I had those juices, and I had something else that was kind of filled. And you know, I remember having to take a nap. And this is early morning. I don't take naps. And I had to take a nap. And I believe it was because I put too much in my system, and my system was working hard, and it just put me to sleep. I don't know if it was a sugar crash or not. I think maybe it been me putting too much in my system and then just falling asleep. So yeah, it was just, these are different things that was going on. So this is how I went vegan and how I was able to heal myself, because I was getting sick even though I went vegan. I still got a cold or whatever, and it just wasn't making sense to me. And then after the 14-day fast, I broke it. I think I did okay, but I ended up going backwards because of those pistachios. And I was that first week after 14 days, you really have to be gentle with the digestive system, because it's sensitive at that point. It's really sensitive, and you have to be careful with what you put in, because breaking the fast is just as equivalent or equal or as important as the fast. So those pistachios didn't do my system any justice. I went to the airport. I think I was in Philadelphia airport. And I tell you, I was just taking those pistachios back, and then my stomach started to feel bad. And I didn't realize what it was at the time. I'm like, man, I'm just this fast. Da, da, da. And then I realized, oh, it was all these fats or whatever from the pistachios. So I had to end up backing down on that and going to more foods that were easier on the digestive system. So I did that. And then I started to eat more cleaner after that. And I think that's when I was introduced to more. I think I started to pay more attention to Dr. Sebi's food list. And that coupled with the fasting that I was doing, because I ended up just doing, several day fasts periodically throughout the year after that, because this was February 2018 when I did the water fast for 2 weeks. So periodic fasting coupled with not all of the Dr. Sebi food list, but most of it, and me periodically having, French fries and stuff, not as much. That was when I started to see a major change in my health. It wasn't just veganism alone, because what I realized throughout time is veganism wasn't enough to keep my body from getting sick and to prevent me from getting the common cold. It wasn't enough, because even throughout that 2018 year, I was having issues. I think I got sick again in maybe September of 2018. And then I went to Mexico around Christmas, and that was the last time I got sick, because after that time, I realized that veganism, it really just isn't enough. You have to take steps. It's levels to everything. So I was at the level where I had plateaued. I had things that had already come out of me, but I was still into the comfort food vegan things, and they weren't doing my body any justice. So I went on and started to do extra things that were that I thought was helpful. And I'll get into that on another stream. I don't really want to have this thing drawn out, even though I probably could, but I'm going to get on with my day. It's Saturday. I just want to kind of speak about how I came into veganism. And, I could say those brothers' names who videos I was watching, but maybe I'll do that in another stream. I think for now, just the transition into being a vegan, I think a lot of people think that, oh, he's vegan or she's vegan, they're healthy. that doesn't necessarily mean you're healthy. Veganism does not equate to being healthy. And I realized that through experience, through fasting, through being a vegan, through experimenting with my body, because experience is the best teacher. And I realized that. But, you know, I for people that are watching this video, veganism is a good step, or at least knocking out the meats and the dairy products, or is a step to in the beginning. It's a good transition. So I think that if you're trying to make a transition into being a vegan, start off slow. You don't have to jump right into it. Some people are really good at jumping right into things and never looking back. And then there's others who need to take steps. You knock out this meat, this knock out chicken the next week, you knock out pork the following week, you knock out dairy, and then you knock out fit. So you just take your time with your body. Take your time with your body, but always plan to continue to get better. That's what it's about. Getting better each and every day, being better than you were yesterday. So if you can do things today that are going to help you tomorrow, that's the goal. Do things today that will help you tomorrow, and you'll start to see results. And the people around you, the fasting, the water fast, I had some family members that I was clashing with even during the fast. And that's when I realized, like, man, I got the energy to argue with you. I didn't really have the energy to argue with you, but I had the energy to argue with these particular people about what I was doing. And I was like, man, where am I getting this energy from? And I had it, and I shouldn't have been wasting it on speaking to those people. But you know what? Sometimes you live and you learn. So that's how I went vegan, 2017. And now I'm on another path, and I'll get into that in another stream. And, my videos that I'm putting out, I'm in the real estate industry. I do real estate and finance. So right now we're speaking about veganism and health, which I believe is wealth, because Steve Jobs showed us that health isn't wealth. He had wealth, or he had finance. He was rich. He had a lot of money. So Steve Jobs showed us that health is not having what a lot of society considers wealth. I'm a firm believer that wealth is health. Wealth is health. That's where your true wealth lies, in having health. Health is not having, quote unquote, wealth, what society deems it to be. Steve Jobs, Chadwick Boseman, these guys showed us that having, quote unquote, wealth or health is not having, quote unquote, wealth. Your true wealth is in your health. And etymologically, the word wealth means health, or stems from health. So I like to focus on saying wealth is health. So when I say wealth, I'm actually saying health. And periodically I'll say health for the person out there that may not understand what I'm saying. I'll periodically say it, and I have to catch myself by saying health. But I like to refer to my physical health as wealth. Anyway, thanks for taking the time out to watch the video. If there's anything that sticks out to you that you like about the video, hit like. If you want to continue to see videos like this, comment. Let me know what other topics you'd like me to speak on in regards to wealth or health, even real estate and finance and fitness, because I'm in those sectors as well. I'm a big real estate guy. I do real estate throughout the country, and I also do financing. So if there's anything you want to hear me speak about, you can visit my Instagram, See Thy Wealth. I'm on TikTok, Twitter, and I'll probably create a Facebook page with See Thy Wealth too. But this is it. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe to the video. Let me know if the video helped you, and let me know if it was something that you could care less about. All right? Appreciate everybody. See Thy Wealth. See Thy Wealth.